Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
Starting to pick up.
Yep. Well, that'll be great on live, on a podcast.
Hey, we may lose one of these canopies. There it goes.
Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
That's how we start the show this morning.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Denise?
Oh, not a lot. Just living life.
Living life, and living it large.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we try to do here on the show. We want to live it large. And when I say large, I'm talking about highlighting all the good things happening here in Huntsville, Texas. 81 shows, technically 82, but shows 81 shows into it now. And we will never, ever get tired of highlighting all the good things that are happening around us every day. And we just got to keep it fresh. And how did we keep it fresh? We updated the intro video.
Yes.
With the little mistake that happened over Rays of Hope this past Saturday. So that'll be on there for the next month or so.
Yep. I had a good time at Rays of Hope, by the way.
We did. Thanks for being there. It was a lot of fun.
Welcome.
And
it was.
Sam Houston women's basketball showed up. We loved having the girls there and having Coach Sim and Coach Justice even came out and some of the other assistants. And it was a great time. Jason was the official griller that day.
Yes.
And, man, those hot dogs were pretty good. I will be honest, full transparency, we had some left over. I did take home a few of them and grilled them the other night. And what I did was you basically like score the hot dog wieners, put them on a grill. I smoked them. Then Bridget made some chili. Oh, my gosh, those were the best hot dogs I ever had in my life. So we just took a few home. And today, great news is you and Ricky, and we'll be showing up about 9:30 over at the house.
Yes,
and we're going to go through all the rest of the food, make sure that we have everything separated where it needs to go. And we're going to start getting the food out today. So we're looking forward to that, and it's going to be great.
It is.
So not bad for a first time. We would have – obviously, anytime you have an event, you'd always hope to see more. But, we raised a little over $1,000. Elliot's going to do a 2-for-1, so that'll end up being a little over $1,500 that we raised for some area nonprofits. A lot of baby items came in at the last minute.
Good.
And so we appreciate that. We had a lot of diapers come in, and we needed that. And so we'll be able to bless the Care Center of Huntsville. Also, some of those diapers are going to go to some other organizations with Safe House, because someone had specifically said, I know that there's a need over there, and so please give a few of these to the ladies over at Safe House. So we're going to make sure that they get a few as well. But the majority of all that's going to go over to our friends at Care Center of Huntsville.
Okay.
So, but here we are. I know we had a little fun intro, and so wanted to welcome you in. As always, thanks for joining us as we lift up and encourage our community here. I want to remind you how blessed we are, waking up with the attitude of gratitude here in Huntsville, Texas. We are here on a Tuesday, broadcasting downtown. Big thank you to Elliott's Jewelers, as always, our studio sponsor. And we would also not be here without Paul Oley of the Gallery. So please make sure to support local businesses for all of your custom framing, photography, and more. Paul Oley will take great care of you. And again, Elliott's Jewelers is online at elliotsjewelers.com. Always save the best for last on the intros. We wouldn't be here also without our good friends at Guardian Defense. So
thank you. I was thinking Elliott's.
No, we said Elliott. So
yeah.
Guardian Defense, Deneen Thompson
Glad
in the
to
house.
be here.
Looking beautiful as always. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Rob.
I always enjoy being around you guys. It's just, we had so much fun on Saturday. And then we get to spend a little bit more time here today.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's just a great time to be rocking and rolling here in Huntsville, Texas.
It is. It's a wonderful community. And it was going back to the Rays of Hope. Guys, we cannot thank y'all enough for what y'all did for our community. Without people like you, we wouldn't have the community that we have.
That's right. And a lot of folks showed up, and we're going to continue to do things. And I wanted to let you know, like, the Rays of Hope doesn't stop there. By the way, Elliott has said, hey, keep that portal open until August the 5th. I believe that's next Monday. He wanted me to keep it open until next Monday. Actually, he said August the 5th, Saturday. I'm going to keep it open through the weekend. And so we're going to keep the donation portal open until the 7th, which will be that Monday. So we'll close that on Monday, August the 7th. So maybe you missed out, weren't able to come out, but you can still donate online at hellohuntsvilletx.com/donate. Again, hellohuntsvilletx.com/donate. And any additional funds that come in, we will make sure that goes to those nonprofit benefactors. We had 6 different folks that we're partnering with. Not every one of those is going to get cash, because honestly, a lot of them didn't have the cash needs, but a few of them did. And I'm really excited about that, because I think we're going to be able to write a good check to HISD Social Services.
Good.
And, last time I was speaking with those ladies, and Sally Dowis at Rotary, she said, $500 will go a long way. And I think as a business owner, and I'm sure you guys think this too, as a business owner, like, it's easy to write a $500 check and be done with it, and then be like, wow, where did that go? And I'm not saying like it's easy. I'm saying it's easy to write the check and then the money just be gone because of how expensive everything is. But for an organization like Huntsville ISD Social Services, that $500 can be stretched and goes a very long way to bless a lot of children in our community that have needs.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we're looking for there. And again, that portal is still open at hellohuntsvilletx.com/donate. I'll put the link up a little bit later this morning. But as always, chime in. Let us know what you're thankful for today. We'd always love to hear from you. Our good friend Jennifer already chiming in. I love this, by the way, as she wrote us here and said, I'm very thankful for our fire department. Yes, we are. Appreciate them. We needed them yesterday at work. Our AC unit on top of our building was smoking. They came out in triple digits and went up there and made sure it wasn't on fire. And there was more that she said here. It wouldn't show on the screen, but she said it wasn't, but obviously a major problem, so we won't have AC on our side of the building. Let's pray it can get fixed quickly.
Oh, yes.
And then on the flip side of that, Matthew Johnson is saying, good morning, I'm thankful for the AC.
Yeah.
So,
well, was it Larry Miller with Dodge Volunteer Fire Department came out and helped us. I believe it was Friday. We had a tree fall on power lines and then actually caught fire. We had a little bit of ground fire right next to the National Forest, and we were just praying, please don't let it go. And so he got there as quick as he could, and with Steve Hill, our constable, and his companion, another constable, and they got the fire put out pretty quick, and they stayed there the whole time until Chico was able to get there. So thank you, Larry, and thank you, Dodge Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah, and that's good, because you think about a big gust of wind, and that could be kapoof the end of it.
Well, as dry as it is, it's and I was worried about that. And there is a burn ban in Walker County, so please, by all means, follow that.
Yeah.
Because as dry as it is, we can be in a lot of trouble.
Well, speaking of the fire department, yesterday I was driving back after I'd left here, and there was a young man that was broke down in the middle of the road, and one of our Huntsville's finest for the Huntsville Fire Department was there helping him. The police had not shown up yet, or whoever was there. It wasn't an accident. Just someone's vehicle literally stopped in the middle of the road, and the Huntsville Fire Department they were not in their fire engine. Obviously, they were in one of their trucks, but they had pulled up behind and put on their lights. And they were just sitting there under a tree talking and smiling and shaking hands. And I love seeing that. Yes. I love seeing that. Always happens all around our community. And, a lot of it goes unnoticed. But that was just something that kind of tugged at your heart yesterday. Well, speaking of things that tug at your heart, today we're very privileged. We will have on our friend Stacy Loll. She's the executive director of the Senior Center of Walker County. Their big program, of course, is Meals on Wheels. And she'll be talking about that. And talk about so many folks in our community that have specific needs as well, and Stacy will be able to highlight some of those needs for us today, how folks can get involved. I was able to serve a very short time with Meals on Wheels when I first came to Huntsville and thoroughly enjoyed it. One day I want to be able to get back into that. Just some time constraints with how we do different things with our show, of course, may overlap, but I'm going to talk to Stacy and we'll learn more from her today. And then, Deneen, you've got something to give away today. Our prize line is open.
Yes, sir. It's a $25 gift certificate. You can use it towards the range, ammo, towards a class, whatever we offer. It's $25 for whatever.
I wanted to make sure that we let folks know this morning too, Deneen, because Guardian Defense isn't just the gun range. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, well, I had no idea that they sold ammunition or that they sold firearms. Explain a little bit more about that, because I wanted to make sure that our listening and viewing audience knows what you guys do.
Well, our main thing that we do is we teach the license to carry classes and other classes that go on with that. We do have our range, and that way when he teaches his classes, people can shoot right then. We don't have to worry about going anywhere. And then we have our gun store, where we have all of our guns, and we do have ammo, and we do have rentals. So if you want to come out, you've never shot, give us a call and come out. If you've never shot an AR, come on.
And
we'll help you out.
And you can rent. If you don't have your own firearm, that's something, too, that I wanted to make sure that folks know. If you don't have your own firearm, they can rent them as well.
Yes, sir.
So, man, I saw you out there. That one night I came over and you cooked a wonderful meal for us, and it was awesome. And we got to do that again. We have to return the favor, actually.
I'm ready.
But we were out there, and Deneen, you go at it, man. You don't play on that range.
No.
So I would not want to be on the opposite end of, well, number one, I'm not going to go break into someone's home or do something dumb like that anyways. But I will say this. I would not want to be on the opposite end of Deneen Thompson. It wouldn't be good.
Thank you.
See, it's even getting me choked up over here, Deneen. It would not be good. So, well, here we are too. It's August already, and we're already excited about how quick. June just flew right by, and here we are in August, and it's just I was sitting here thinking on the way in this morning, where does time go?
I don't know. Growing up, you think that, oh, my God, Christmas is never going to get here. And now it's like, as an adult, we're like, oh, no, it's here again.
It just happens so quick. And, and wanted to remind folks today, be careful. We were listening from Jennifer earlier. She was posting some comments. And then Matthew Johnson saying he was thankful for the AC. And, I think today we're under another excessive heat warning.
Yes.
I got to tell you something, too. Today, Preferred Partners, we have it every Tuesday morning through the chamber. And man, last night I didn't go to sleep till about 1:30 this morning. Got back up at 5:30. Not good, but that's just how it goes when you got, newborn and all that fun stuff. But I had all my flyers printed out because we're broadcasting New Waverly this fall, and excited to be able to bring that to that community just right down the road. I always say they're part of Huntsville, and and Huntsville's a part of them. But had everything printed up, and I have no idea. This will probably never happen again. Had it in what it was is because I had it in my NDSU Bison folder. I still haven't changed the page on that. That's what happened. It was a curse. But I had all these flyers that I'd worked so hard and printed up last night. And I get in the truck, and right before I get in, they fall out of the folder, which no big deal, right? Well, the big deal was the sprinkler system was on, and they fell directly on top of one of the sprinkler heads. So all of these flyers that I printed up last night completely trashed. So hopefully, I'll be able to get there. That's why I was telling you this morning. I'm going to wrap up the show a little bit early because I've got to go get breakfast and I've got to reprint those flyers somehow. So just the luck of the draw this morning.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I got whenever that happened, I said, not today, Debbie. You ain't going to win today.
Oh, no.
So and then I got behind Slowsis Malone in front of me. I don't even, it's, Moses, Malone, Slow. I don't, did you see where I was going with that? I don't even know where I was going with it. It just popped in my head. This guy was going like 10 miles an hour. I was like, come on, man, the speed limit's 50. And I wanted to get over because I already knew you were going to be here. Deneen, don't play.
No, it's
Deneen,
thankful for my husband calling me.
Yeah, Deneen, don't play. Hey, this week's keyword, by the way, were you on yesterday? Did you hear about this?
No.
It's protea.
Protea.
Protea. Protea. Stacy Loll's in the studio. She'll be on in a minute. She's looking over here like, protea, huh? It's the flower. So protea, thanks to Sweet Caroline's Floral Shop. We'll never, ever probably have a keyword related to a flower again. But the keyword is protea, along with your name, 936-339-0139. Again, that number, 936-339-0139. If you entered yesterday and you didn't win, Jennifer won. Jennifer, you can't enter again this week. But anyone else, if you entered yesterday, you can enter in throughout the week. We will close down that text line, by the way, on Friday at 8 a.m. But go ahead and enter in to win. We've got that gift certificate, $25 off over at Guardian Defense. That's for anything, classes, ammunition, anything that you want over there. And then also I'm going to throw in a Rays of Hope t-shirt and one of our swag bags that also has discounts to Fat Boys Pizza. It's got a free car wash in there, courtesy of Clean Car Wash. Cup from Walker County Federal Credit Union, some other items as well. So text in that keyword. For now, though, we'll step aside. We'll take a break. Continue to let us know what you're thankful for this morning as we continue to uplift our community. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. It's your show, Huntsville, as always. Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back here in 60 seconds. Hey, friends, welcome back in. Happy Tuesday to you. Is it Tuesday, Deneen, or Tuesday?
However you want to say it, tomato, tomato.
How do you normally say it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Wait, you said it kind of in the middle. Not really D or day. It was like, say that again.
Tuesday.
Now I threw you off, see?
Yep. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's me. What was that, Mario back in the day? I don't remember.
Mario Brothers?
Yeah. Welcome back in. We never know what we're going to talk about on the show. Welcome back in on a Tuesday. Appreciate Guardian Defense, Deneen Thompson, and the Thompson family, as always, for helping to make this show possible on a Tuesday. Continue to let us know that you're out there this morning. A lot of folks already chiming in. And let us know what you're thankful for today. Just like our friend Jamie saying very thankful for family. So so love that, as always. Randy Thompson. Randy, I hope you're staying cool, man. He said, Granny, Mary, Cajun, Asian cuisine, morning. Hello, Huntsville, and our awesome community. I know it has been hot.
It has.
And for those guys that work in the food trucks, that have their own food truck business, man, that is tough. And so we're praying for you, Randolph, and hopefully you are finding a way to stay cool. And we'll go ahead and bring her on because one of our friends, Jay Elms, just said good morning to Stacy. He said one of my favorite people in the world.
Aw,
so
thanks, Jay.
Stacy Loll joining us this morning, Executive Director with the Senior Center of Walker. It's so good to see you, Stacy. I just got to shake your hand. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
What have you been up to? How's things going?
Things are going very well. We have, we continue the meals no matter what.
Yeah.
And so we have, obviously, the service in-house congregate. Those are back now since COVID's over, or whatever you want to call it. And then our Meals on Wheels never stopped. So it's going strong.
Just keep rocking and rolling, and we'll learn more about the Senior Center of Walker County here in just a few moments. The Mills, they are the ones that put on the Meals on Wheels program here in Huntsville, and not just Huntsville, quite literally Walker County. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit. And Stacy, just first and foremost, thank you for being here. Thank you for your friendship. When I first came to Huntsville, I need to get re-involved with Meals on Wheels because it was just a tremendous blessing to go out and see how that process works and drive. I mean, literally going all the way to Trinity and those areas, if I remember correctly. No, Riverside.
Riverside.
We were out in Riverside, yeah. So don't want to, we don't want to take away because there may be other places that are going out. But I remember going out to Riverside and just seeing a lot of great folks that have needs and just the joy on their faces when you show up with a meal for them. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but just let us know a little bit about you, just your involvement in Huntsville and how long you've been here and all those wonderful things. Everything but your Social Security number, Stacy.
I grew up in Willis, so I didn't grow up that far away. We moved here in 2005. I joined the Chamber of Commerce. I worked for them for years, then Alpha Omega Academy. And then I took a break, and then I'm now at the Senior Center. So married to Clyde, so that's probably the largest blessing in my life. And then we have 2 children that are grown and married and 2 grandsons. So they are highly moving up the ranks. But anyway.
Life is good, and we love Clyde and just, so supportive of him as well, and glad to see him out and about. And we love your husband, and we'll continue to pray for him and recovery. So thank you for bringing him up. We love Clyde.
Thank you.
So you've been here. I didn't know the Chamber. You just mentioned that. I didn't know this about you, Stacy. So you were involved with the Chamber, AOA.
Yes.
And then moving into this role now, and you've been with the Senior Center for how long now? It's been
3 years.
Been a little bit. So we usually say on the show sometimes it's been a hot minute. So
it has.
It's been a hot long minute. Just let us know about that journey. How did everything kind of evolve to being able to get into this position now and serve with a great organization?
Just the Lord's direction. So my parents were older, and so I always have had a heart for older people. I also serve in our church with the Mature Adults Ministry, and so J.D. Davis served on our board at that time and he said, I'd really like to talk to you about this, and the other director was leaving, and I'm like, I don't know, but then when I saw it, and it just fit with everything that I had grown up with and done. So the Chamber had connections. It was obviously hugely volunteer people involved. So I had that aspect, and Alpha Omega, I worked in the finance side of that, and so I had that background, and it just worked, and so that's how it is. But it's the heart for the people is probably the biggest thing. All the other things you can probably learn, but being able to love and care for people that are different and struggling, and often we're the only people they see. So sometimes our conversations are, 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to be there, and so it's great.
Huntsville's one of these communities. Do you feel it too, where like you're voluntold sometimes? Have you experienced that?
Yes, but it's because of the community being such a close knit, and people need. I mean, every organization here needs volunteers, and so and once they know that there's somebody that will do it and show up and be on time and be committed, then everybody wants you, so
yeah,
it's a good thing.
I remember you were messaging me, Rob, can you come? Can you help? And so, again, we're going to have to get re-involved with what you guys do. I do want to talk about Meals on Wheels here in just a little bit, but I don't want the underlying message to be lost, because there is so much more to the Senior Center of Walker County than just Meals on Wheels. I mean, it's a place for seniors to come in and gather.
Yes.
I believe there's games in there. Folks can come in and play dominoes and do different activities. Let us know just a little bit more about the Senior Center outside of Meals on Wheels, because I do want to spend some time talking about that separately.
Well, I would say that, so we say the Senior Center of Walker County is serving meals and so much more. So our Congregate side, which is the side you're referring to, is senior adults over the age of 60 can come in and play games and socialize. And when that stopped with COVID, when they finally got to come back, they didn't even care anymore if they had games. They just were so thankful to get to see somebody, because the population that we serve in home and there, many of them don't have a lot of other family checking on them or even being with them, and most of them live alone. And so when that isolation happened, it was a wide open, eye-opening experience for them to realize. We lost many during that event because, again, they were isolated. They weren't eating like they were supposed to. They weren't going to the doctors, things like that. And we're not able to take care of all those things, but we do. We often help in some of that. And So that when they came back in, it was a thrill. And like I said, they don't care if they get to play games or not. They just want to sit with each other and talk to each other and visit. So what happens is they can drive in, but we also have transportation that picks up quite a few of them up that's in the city limits. And so we bring them in, and they get to have some snacks in the morning and visit and coffee and things like that. And then they play games and still visit. And then we have lunch at 11:30, and then we dismiss shortly after that. But in order to participate with us, we do have to do an assessment on everybody that comes in. They do have to qualify by age is the first main factor. But also the biggest part of our program is that we're trying to help those that have food insecurity. So if they're not able to have a meal a day, then that's what we want to be able to do. Unfortunately, we cannot help everybody in Walker County. The senior citizen population is the largest growing population in the world. And Walker County is not experiencing that any different than everybody else is. Because we are funded through the government and we have a huge amount of support from the community. So we get donations. Our volunteers many times are coming from churches, and they come as groups. So all those things happen, but there's never enough, and every organization feels the same way. So
I kind of look at it, you guys are doing the Lord's work. You're feeding people who need to be fed, and I think so many of us, and I do this, and today is an eye-opening experience for me, because literally, yesterday I come home and I'm hungry and I go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And just from you being here today is going to help me to realize before I take a bite of food that there's folks out there that aren't eating all the time.
Yeah.
And even in our community, we think so much, you see the TV, and I'm not knocking this, Stacy, but you see the commercials on TV of those poor children in other countries, and you think about, man, I really want to help and I want to support. And you do, but there's folks right here in our own backyard that need that same type of support and help. And that's what you guys are doing with the Senior Center of Walker County. You mentioned the age restrictions a while ago. So what is that age restriction to where somebody can get involved and be a part of, not the volunteering side, but utilizing the services that you offer?
You have to be at least 60 years old.
What if you feel like you're 80? Can you join? No, just kidding. You gotta
I wish you could, but no. But you can volunteer if you feel that way.
Yeah.
It's the age of 60, and we don't base everything. So there is a financial component, but that's not the biggest focus for us. Again, it is the age they do have to qualify for, but then the next part is, do they have someone at home to help them? Are they able to eat? Can they? Some of them, most all of them live alone. Some of them can cook, but they're too tired, or they don't even have the equipment. So you will see that, especially in the home delivered group, that especially outside of city limits, where they don't even have like a refrigerator or freezer. Well, if they don't have that, we can't serve them because they have to be able to maintain those meals when we deliver them.
There was I'm not giving away any confidential things, obviously not going to say names or anything like that, but there was a very sweet lady that I remember specifically delivering to, and my heart just broke for her. And I know that you guys do everything that you can to help folks, but there's also a time to where it's like we've tried everything we can do, and now that's kind of where it is, and I'll never forget, I delivered a meal to her, Stacy, and she was outside. And she waited outside for those meals whenever they came every day. And she would eat them outside. And I just remember she just wanted to be outside. And I remember hugging on her and telling her, how much that there's boundaries, of course, and you guys go through the training and say about all that. But you also develop friendships with these folks. And I think they long for that because they don't have anybody to talk to. And I just remember giving this lady a hug, and you just see a tear come down her eye. And that's the compassion that I think, not from me, but that we all need to have whenever we embrace our senior citizen community. And that was the one image that just forever will stick out to me, was this little lady, and she was probably in her 90s, that just waited every day for her food outside. And, I don't know, I think there was a situation inside where she just didn't have room to eat inside. And so she would go, now she was safe, she would go back inside, but she ate outside every day. Yeah. And she longed to have that. And I'll never forget that, Stacy. And it's one of those things that, folks need to be involved. They need to volunteer, especially with this organization. I truly believe in the mission of what y'all do. Let us know a little bit more about just the Meals on Wheels program and how that works.
Well, it's much like the Congregate. So you have to qualify for it as well. You have to be over 60. And the home delivered is specifically for people that are homebound. So if you're home and you're able to drive and you don't want to drive, you don't really qualify. So that is really for us to be able to get meals to people that literally have no way to get their meal otherwise. And so we work really hard to make sure that we are checking that information, and we do home visits and things like that to determine that we're serving the right people that need us. And again, we have way more than we can serve. We have a waiting list. But like you said, the volunteers always make a relationship with these people. They're always excited to see you. And especially when you get outside our city limits, because those deliveries are only once a week. So we deliver 5 frozen meals once a week for anybody that's outside Huntsville city limits. And more times than not, you're the only person they see in a whole week. And so it is that they are waiting on you outside, and she might enjoy eating outside, but she really doesn't want to miss you getting there. And she doesn't want you to just drop the meal and leave, which is not what we do. So part of our services with home delivered is also the part of the volunteer. When they're seeing you and they've developed that relationship, they can kind of tell if something's wrong. So I'll give you, for instance, we have 2 gentlemen that drive together, and they've been serving the same gentleman for a while, and they noticed one day that like something seemed off, and so they asked him, and he said he didn't feel very well, and they asked if they could, call his doctor, and he said, well, I haven't taken my medicine in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And then as the conversation went on, they found out that when we had the Snowmageddon, that he had also, his pipes had frozen. He had had no water since then.
Oh, my goodness.
He had told nobody because he didn't want anybody to try to get him out of his home. So that's the other issue. They oftentimes don't want to leave, which I'm sure that all of us will feel that way at that point. But anyway, these gentlemen helped him. He did let them call his doctor. The doctor sent him more medicine. They went and got it. They took it back to him. And anyway, and then come to find out he was having a mini stroke. They were able to get him to the doctor. And so there was a multiple of things. But had they not been there and seen him and known, because if you had never seen him before, you might not pick it up the first time. But because they did, they were able to get him help. And he's doing well. He's thriving now. So, but we hear it every day. And we have volunteers that have been volunteering for years. And we have 96 active volunteers. And we could not do what we do without it. And we only have 6 staff members, 4 of which have 2 full-time jobs. So the other 2 don't, but the rest of us do. And so, there's no way for us to serve the county the way that we do if we didn't have that. But again, once people volunteer, they fall in love with the people that they see, and they know the difference they're making every day. Like, you don't miss that. So
I'll remember the first time I'd went, and I was only able to help you guys for a couple of weeks, but I remember the first time that I'd went to one particular home. There was a gentleman, and he wanted me to come in and talk to him, and I did, and I sat down with him, and we ended up talking. And I've got to get meals to people, but I also want to show compassion, and I think we ended up chatting for like 20 minutes. He just wanted somebody to talk to, like you said. But when I first got there, he kind of like peeked through the door, and when I knocked on it, he didn't open it all the way. He didn't have the little eye hole, so he was just kind of peeking around the door. And who are you? I said, Meals on Wheels. I'm here to deliver your food, sir. And, well, you're not the normal guy, And so he like knew that I wasn't the normal guy, and so it took a minute, but I had to like literally break down that barrier of the door in him to be able to chat with him, and that's good though, because these folks recognize who comes out and who helps them, and they want to make sure, because as you said, a lot of them, they're by themselves, they don't have anyone else, and they want to make sure that it's not just some person over there coming to do harm to them.
Yes.
When you speak of the volunteers, and you mentioned over 90 volunteers, how many meals are being delivered, or how many clients do you guys serve here in this area?
We served over 52,000 meals last year.
Wow.
So it depends on, like, they're getting 5 meals a day. So our client, like for 2022, I just did a report yesterday. We had over 483 people that had been served in that time frame. But that fluctuates because, some come off, new ones come on. So it's not like they all got 52 weeks of meals. But anyway, but over 52,000. So we serve over 1,000 meals a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's 5, and each person who qualifies 5 meals a week, correct?
Yes.
So whenever you're thinking about, like, I guess you can break down the math, and I'm bad at it, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but whenever you think about, that's a lot of meals every day that are having to go out.
Yeah, it's 200 meals a day.
Wow. Because I remember I was
200
thinking
meals.
about just the route I had. I mean, it was, a good 4 hours just driving around delivering meals, but I enjoyed it, and meeting those folks, and it wasn't about me enjoying it. It was more about, hey, let's go out and serve folks who need it. How can folks get involved? I mean, I truly believe every morning when we have these shows, when we bring on nonprofits and they talk about their needs, I always truly believe that there's somebody out there that wants to get involved, and maybe somebody's been waiting for this opportunity to say, you know what, I want to go deliver these meals. I want to help out with the senior center. How can people get involved, Stacy?
They can come by the senior center. We're at 340 State Highway 75 North. So we're in the main the Walker County buildings that are on 75 North. So the Come Center's in there, and several of the county businesses are in there. OEM, the Office of Emergency Management's there. So we're across the street from that. And so they can come by. We have applications, background checks that they would need to fill out, things like that. But other than that, it's not that hard. And we have people that volunteer once a week, but then we have some that just volunteer once a month. Some want to just be substitute drivers. So they'll just say, like, I don't want to commit every day, but I can always drive on a Monday or whatever. And so we can call them, and that's sometimes we know in advance when somebody is going to be out, but sometimes it's that morning that somebody can't make it. And so
Awesome. We're showing the website right here. Again, Stacy Loll is joining
Yes.
us. She is the executive director of the Senior Center of Walker County. And the website is online. You can simply go to it, seniorcenterofwalkercounty.org. Looks like you guys, this is a nice website. I don't know if y'all redid that recently from what I remember, but it looks really nice. And you can get all the information that you need here as well, directions to the Senior Center, and more about just the mission. And I like the mission. It's just simple and to the point. It says improving the quality of life for Walker County senior adults.
yes.
And that's what they need. These folks need your support. They need the support of the Senior Center. And it's folks like Stacy who just have the compassion and the heart to serve folks in our community. So, through these 3 years, what have you seen the most? I mean, obviously folks are moving in. What are some of the biggest needs that you guys have right now?
Well, we have a record number of people trying to have service done. So we have a huge influx of that. I think part of that is the things that happen with the chain supply, the prices going up. So that's been very hard because we are restricted. We receive funding through the government, through the state of Texas, through the county here, and the city of Huntsville. Both of them support us very well. And quite honestly, if they didn't support us, then the state of Texas would not support us. So it is a great partnership that we all have. Again, the churches and individuals that support us, it's uncanny. It's amazing what happens with that. So I feel very blessed that that's the way it works. And there's days that, like, we got to check just a few weeks ago that they don't have any connection to us that we know of. And it was, I'm like, so I sent a letter and I'm like, can you tell me, like, why you picked us? Which I'm thankful, but there's
You
usually
still want to know.
there's
yeah.
a reason when somebody gives like that there's something connected them.
Sure.
So whether it's a story from their life or whatever, or they know our need, that's a possibility. But I've not met them, so I'm just curious. But we'll see if I get to meet them or not. So, but but we are not. So our name is Senior Center of Walker County because we are in Walker County, but we are a 501c nonprofit. We're not county owned. But again, we do get support through them, and we appreciate that. And so, sometimes people are like, "You're a county." I'm like, "No, we're not. We're not the county."
Bill Doggett was talking about that the other day at Rotary. He gave a presentation on some things going on with the county, and he mentioned, and I forget the number, but how many organizations have the word Walker County in it that aren't affiliated with Walker County. And so he goes, man, we get calls from people like, "Why did y'all do this and this?" He's like, man, they're not even part of us. We don't oversee that. No, he's not getting those calls for the Senior Center, I guarantee, because you guys do such great work. Stacy, it's been so enlightening just having you here today, highlighting the great work that the Senior Center of Walker County is doing. Thanks to you and your leadership and your staff. And I had no idea that there's only 6 of you. And you said, some of those are still working full-time jobs at other places as well. What are some of the other biggest needs? I know you talked about some of the challenges that you guys have faced, but you're always in need of volunteers. Can folks, you said that you're state funded, but can folks donate money? I'm assuming because you just mentioned earlier somebody did.
Yes, we get funding through the lots of organizations and individuals that donate to us. So that happens, and that's a big deal. That makes a big difference. And I will even tell you, the people that we serve, they're not required to pay anything. We don't ask them to pay anything. But you would be surprised at how many of them will donate. Now, it may be $1, and we don't care, but they do what they can. And again, it just shows their heart and their compassion and their thankfulness for what they're getting. They know. Nobody takes us for granted. They know that what they're getting and how blessed they are. And I will tell you, we have a full-time chef. We cook our meals every day. We start at 5:30 in the morning. That's how come some of us can work two jobs, because we start early enough to get another one in the afternoon. But our food is nutritious and it's good. We do struggle a little bit because they don't want everything baked. Imagine that. They like it fried. So we try to combine both of those so that they're enjoying it. Because if it's really, really healthy, but they throw it away, that didn't really help us any.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act. But Raphael has been there for 14 years, and he's the chef, and he's fantastic. And we couldn't do it without him. But we really couldn't do it without any of them. They all give every day more than they're supposed to. So,
Stacy, one thing that opened up my eyes, again, Stacy Loll joining us, she's the executive director of the Senior Center of Walker County. One thing that opened my eyes that I did not realize in this community until I got involved with y'all for that short time was how many senior places that we have here in Huntsville, how many senior housing developments. I mean, there are different places throughout the community. Can you expand maybe a little bit more on that? And just, we do have a growing senior population. You mentioned earlier that is the leading growing population globally, not just, here in Walker County.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how many we have here. I think we serve in all of them, but 4 or 5 of them have been here for a while. But there's been 2 recently new ones that have come in just within the last couple of years. Most of them are full, and so I would be surprised if somebody starts looking at doing some more of them. But yeah, it's a need for them, because most of them don't want to live with their children, or their children aren't here, things like that. So it's all of our desires, and some of us haven't experienced it yet, but it will. We want to be independent. We don't want somebody to take that away from us. And so those centers are very instrumental in their lives. Now, they don't usually provide meals for them, so we actually deliver to several of those locations. They don't have assisted living in there. It's just that they have a place to live that's specifically for their age group, and that's important for a couple of things, because when the snowmageddon hit and the electricity was out, the county called and said, hey, can you open up the center as a shelter for senior adults? Like, we have 2 housing that have no electricity and haven't had for 36 hours, and they're scared, they're panicked. Yeah. But they also didn't want to go to the shelter where everybody else was. There's a fear there, and you need to know they're the most vulnerable group that we serve. Anybody serves. So everybody thinks it's children, but it's really not, because the children typically have somebody, that either a teacher that can kind of see them, a parent, a grandparent, maybe a foster parent. Like, there's somebody. But we have a group of people that often there's nobody checking on. So they're very vulnerable. But that's why they are shy when they open the door, because they're also the easiest to take advantage of. Like, they're happy to see you, and they actually believe that most everybody's good. And that's not a bad thing, but it compromises them oftentimes. Like, people call them like, hey, we need your password. Okay. Like, I can't tell you how many of them have done that.
I know that, yeah.
And so that's the reason why it's important that we, take care of who's coming in to serve, but also for them to make those relationships. And that's why they are careful. They don't want somebody to identify them and make them move, but they also don't have the ability to keep you necessarily from causing issues. So they're very cognizant and very careful about what happens.
Stacy, I'm so glad that you pointed out, just about, these folks not having anyone, because I want people to really just think about that and focus on that for a moment. All of us in this room right now have somebody. And most of everybody that we know has somebody. In fact, everybody that we do know has somebody, because they have us, because we know them, right?
Right.
And you think about a lot of these folks that literally don't have anyone. They don't. And maybe that only connection that they have is through the Senior Center of Walker County. My mother, I love my mom to death. Most compassionate heart of any woman that I know. She's watching right now, so I have to say that also. But I love you, Mom. And I mean that, though. And she worked at a nursing facility for years and years. And when we were younger, we would go up there. Like, you're younger, you don't want to go to the nursing home. But as you get older, you realize why your mom wants you to go up there. Because a lot of these residents didn't have anybody. My mom told me countless stories of her, when she'd get off of her shift, spending time with residents as they passed away because nobody was up there with them. She told me stories of folks that had been in that nursing facility 20 years that nobody ever came to see them. And so I want you to think about that this morning, not to be somber, but just to bring a little reality to the situation. That's why it's so important for us, and I believe this is something that God puts in front of us, is relationships, for a reason, because there are people that we need to connect with, and then we need to make them know and let them know, hey, you're not forgotten and you were loved. And that's what you guys are doing, Stacy. I know that you're passionate about it or you wouldn't be doing it, and I can see the smile and the joy when you talk about it.
Thank you.
So did we hit everything? I know we talked about different services the Senior Center offered. Obviously, Meals on Wheels is one of the biggest programs that you guys have, but it's more than that. Is there anything else that we may have missed this morning, Stacy?
I don't think so.
Awesome. All righty. Well, thank you so much for being here. Again, folks can go online to the website to learn more information. Super simple to get to. Just go to seniorcenterofwalkercounty.org. Again, it's seniorcenterofwalkercounty.org. You can find out more about the mission, the different services that the Senior Center offers, and also those volunteer opportunities. And as Stacy said, it's very safe if you're a person in need of these services, because there is a background check. I had to go through it. Mm-hmm. And, so it's very safe as far as volunteering and folks being able to interact. And you guys even provide some of the training and instruction. So you're not just sending people out there blindly. You tell them, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to expect. I know for me, and y'all talked about it, you said some of the homes that you go to and some of the places, there's going to be a cooler on the front porch because maybe they can't get there or maybe they're gone to the doctor that day. And so there was a couple of meals that I had to put, and they did. They had a cooler on their front porch, and they put a piece of tape that said Meals on Wheels.
And we no longer can do that. So
you can't? Oh, wow.
So we could do that during COVID for just to make sure that they could get them. But especially now with the heat where it is, but that kind of defeats our purpose if we need to see you. Yeah. So we can't leave a meal and not see you. And if they forget, and we do have some that forget that their meal's there, and then when they find it, they don't know how long. They don't know. They can't. There's memory issues.
But y'all did that during COVID for sure.
We did because we could call them and say like we watched to see if they picked them up and check on them like that. And then of course if they're at a doctor's appointment in the early morning, which is usually the route you drove, which are the frozen routes, those are early routes because they are longer when you're going out. When you're going out the county, because when you do the Riverside, like you spoke of, like that's that. So we have 4 county routes that are northeast, south, and west of Huntsville, and then we have New Waverly has its own route.
Oh, that's great.
And so but because of that, we no longer. We only did that for a short period of time to alleviate some issues because you couldn't get too close, you couldn't talk, you couldn't this, you couldn't that. So we had to, and it's kind of hard to stand 6 feet away and hand them a meal at the same time. So, we had to improvise there, but we don't do that. We actually want to see them and know that they're okay. So.
Now that you're mentioning that, I remember because it was kind of on that tail end of COVID, and I remember wearing a mask, and I had to wear a mask. And you're right, because the gentleman that did invite me in, I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to come in, but he was like begging me, and so I went in and talked to him.
Yeah.
So
we don't encourage volunteers to go inside, but some of them do. A lot of times they'll come outside, like the lady, and sit outside to visit with you because they want that companionship. So. But for their safety as well as for our volunteers, we don't encourage people going in the houses. But again, there's some that have been driving for years, so we have ladies that make them special things at Christmas and take it to their group, and so anyway.
We started talking Bearcats, and that's where the conversation went. Well, let me show you this. Come on in, So don't learn from my example. That's why we're on today. Learn from what Stacy tells you. So, well, Stacy, this has been an eye-opening just to learn a little bit more about you and about the Senior Center of Walker County. We appreciate what you do so much. And again, folks, get involved. Today, I know that they're in need of volunteers. As you heard Stacy talking about earlier, just the thousands of meals, 52,000 last year alone. And so folks, they need help and they need you. And all you got to do is just call. You don't have to commit to every single day. You said there's folks that do it once a month. There's folks that are substitute drivers. So if today you're feeling like, hey, you know what, I do have a little bit of time, go to that website, seniorcenterofwalkercounty.org, and sign up today and be involved and be helpful.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, there she is, Miss Stacy Loll. Thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you,
Stacy.
Thank you.
Want to remind you, friends, as always, we are giving away. Do you know about the protea flower, Stacy? I didn't know anything about this flower. Did you know about it?
Only because I heard you a while ago.
I had no idea. That's a protea flower. And our friend Leah Lineback from Sweet Caroline's Floral Shop brought a beautiful arrangement to us. She brings flowers to us about once every other week or once every 3 weeks. We give them away on the show. But she brought us a protea flower last week, and so that's our keyword this week. We were joking around about it, and it turned into the keyword. So all you got to do is text in that keyword protea along with your name to 936-339-0139. We'll be drawing a winner a little bit earlier as we've got to head out here in just a few moments. But again, we'll see you back on the other side. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Deneen and I will wrap it up. Again, it's your show, Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back after this. All right, friends, back at it here. There's always a little work going on behind the scenes there to flip cameras and readjust and all that good old fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at today, Deneen. Where are we at? What's going on today?
I don't know. You haven't looked up what's going on.
I do know what today is, though. What today? That's a really odd. You know, like sometimes I'm sitting here, I flipped on my phone, and you know, sometimes your camera pops up. That is not a good angle. It's like up under my chin here. I'm starting to get as I get older. You know, I have to shave, Deneen, or I don't have to shave, because if I shave, this kind of looks like Thanksgiving right here. So if I one time, man, I butchered up my beard and I had to shave the whole thing off, and it looked terrible, just absolutely terrible.
When Jason shaved his, he looked like a little boy, and I was like, nope.
No, ain't nobody got time for that. So today it is the National Night Out Day, the first Tuesday. Oh, National Night Out is today? I wonder if, you know what, man?
I haven't seen anything
I have
advertised.
not seen anything. Georgetown, we did it. Like police in neighborhoods would go out. It's National Night Out. The first Tuesday in August promotes police community partnerships in neighborhoods across the country. If any of you out there know anything about any National Night Out events going on in Huntsville, please let us know so we can get it out there. I had no idea that today was National Night Out Day. And we love that in Georgetown. The Boys and Girls Club would host a big event every year, and we'd go to it. Bridget's mom is with the Housing Authority, and so and they were partnered up, and we would always do something over there, and it was awesome. They'd have music. They would invite all the residents from the housing community to come over. They would invite the Boys and Girls Club to come over, and it was a big event there in Georgetown. But tonight, National Night Out. Had no idea. And again, if you know of any events happening tonight here in Huntsville for National Night Out, please let us know so we can get that information out there. Also, I don't really care about this one, International Mahjong Day. I'm not a Mahjong player. Are you?
Yeah.
You are? I'm not. I never got into it. Never got into it. It is, here's the biggest one. Respect for Parents' Day. Get on the phone. Hey, man.
Call Mama.
You better call Mama.
Daddy.
Call Mama and Daddy and tell them that you love them. Also, this month, bringing awareness to lung cancer, something that has affected so many people. I've known some folks that have passed from lung cancer, and so it is World Cancer Day today. As August is that month for World lung cancer. But hey, been a good show today.
It has.
Been a lot of fun. Some enlightening information there from our friend Stacy Loll with Senior Center of Walker County.
Really didn't know all that goes on behind scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. And I remember just, it's so weird, Denise, because we get in these routines of doing the things that we do every day, and then it's like we suddenly do something else, and it's like a building in your community. Have you ever lived in a community forever, and then you go into a building that you've never been into, and you're like, I didn't even know this was here. Like, there's a church in Georgetown that way. I saw it every day growing up for 30 years. And one day there was an event there, and I was like, I never knew this beautiful church was here. I drove by it every single day, never went into it. So it kind of opens up the doors sometimes about what's happening. Well, friends, we always appreciate the opportunity to bring you this show each and every morning. We are on from 7 to 8, as always, on Tuesdays with Guardian Defense and our good friends, Deneen and Jason Thompson and the Thompson family. We appreciate them. Big thank you again to all that came out this past Saturday for Rays of Hope. We'll continue to put out more information about all the things that happen with that event in the next few days or so, and so just wanted to continue to let you know about that. And also giving away prizes as we need to call our winner chicken dinner here. Man, we're getting close already. Oh wow, she hasn't. I don't know if she's won before. Well, she's won now. The randomizer has spoken. The randomizer has spoken. This is someone. Has she been out to the facility before?
I don't think so.
Well, now she gonna be coming. She gonna be coming now because we're gonna call her. You better answer the phone, please, because I want you to win. Like I didn't. The randomizer picked you. Like I didn't. The randomizer. Oh, I hear a little echo coming there. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Sounds like somebody's watching and listening live right now. Hello. Hello.
Yes, I was.
Well, this sounds like a lady by the name of Kay Boning from Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools with an S. How you doing this morning?
I am doing great. We are driving back to Huntsville and ready to be home.
Where are you guys at right now?
We just left Woodward, Oklahoma.
Hey, can you sing that song? Can you sing that song?
You don't want me to sing, Rob. You'd lose all your viewers.
What about Rick? I know Rick's there with you.
Yeah.
Rick, you don't want to sing with us either?
Do you want to sing with them? Sing what?
I am just da 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 da. You know that song. Do you know it, Denise?
No.
You know it, Kay, don't you?
Okay, I put him on speaker so we can hear.
Rick, you know the song. You said you're driving through Oklahoma. I'm going to say the first few words. I am just dun 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 bum dum dum dum.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know that song?
No, not offhand.
Oh, man. Am I not singing the right words? Oh, my goodness. Somebody out there knows that song. Russell's laughing. I think he knows what song it is. I am just an Okie from Muskogee. Oh, man. Well, hey, Kay, you were the winner today. You weren't at Raise a Hope, but you guys sponsored it, so congratulations. I'm gonna get you a T-shirt. You also have, Deneen, what do they have?
Get a $25 gift certificate to Guardian Defense. You can come out. You can use it towards the range. If you want to come. It's $25 to anything of our services.
And Rick, it includes ammo.
Ammo.
So if you need some ammo, Guardian Defense, it's got you $25 hookup there.
Yep.
But it's going to Kay though, Rick. You're gonna have to make sure if Kay allows you to use it or not. All right.
I think I can arrange it.
All right.
There's a meme that he posted on Facebook that had the man vacuuming and the man washing dishes and the man doing laundry and everything, and the woman just goes, "Okay, what gun did you buy?"
Sounds about right.
Well, we have guns for you.
All right. Well, congratulations, Kay. You have won, and you will be with us tomorrow, I believe, back on the show. So we missed you and excited to have you all back. By the way, your staff did a great job last week, but we're glad to have you and Rick back because the horn gets a little lonely over here without you guys.
We heard it first thing this morning.
I did it just for y'all. I was thinking of you. All righty. Well, hey, y'all be safe driving. God bless you, and thanks for listening and watching this morning. I know you're listening. You're not watching because you're driving, so you're obviously listening this morning.
Well, I was watching and he's driving.
Ah, okay. There you go. It's the way to do it. Rick, don't be glancing over. Keep your eyes on the road. 10-2. All right,
That's
guys.
why he's driving.
All right. Well, y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Looking forward to it. Thank